So for the second time in as many weeks, we are talking about flying cars. Obviously, last week we brought you the news that there was a flying car crash in China, perhaps the first ever recorded flying car crash. Not an honour that they would have wanted Xpeng over in China. However, there is an American company, Aleph Aeronautics, that are looking at launching, quite literally, their first flying car as well, and it could be available to order very soon. So let's have a look at this, guys. Let's have a look at what's going on with this. Obviously, like I said, the Chinese flying cars, the Xpeng's not looking particularly ready, but what about Aleph? Are they looking more likely to? Let's have a look. Aleph Aeronautics have announced formal agreements with Half Moon Bay and Hollister airports to begin testing operations of a road-legal vertical takeoff flying car. This vehicle will drive and then take off vertically, operating alongside other aircraft. Those airports now join the company's 3 existing test locations, making 5 in total. Aleph will start with its Model 0 Ultralight, great name, and eventually move to its commercial Model A. The Model A will drive, take off vertically, fly forward, land vertically, and maneuver on both roads and runways. Aleph will alert other aircraft before its car planes move on the ground or in the air. The agreement also requires conventional aircraft to retain priority and right-of-way over Aleph's operations. Imagine if your flight got delayed because there's a flying car that's operating at the same airport that you're going. You'd be fuming. You'd be absolutely fuming at that, but thankfully that should not happen. Aleph designed the Model A to be fully electric. It will travel up to 200 miles on roads and 110 miles while flying. The flying vehicle will be required to follow certain rules, however. Only daylight flights are permitted, and no flying is allowed over crowded areas or cities. Thank goodness for that. Can you imagine if you saw that? You'd be like, oh, the aliens are real. They're here. But no, it's just a flying car. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a flying car, actually. Aleph has already received the Federal Aviation Administration Special Airworthiness Certification for limited testing. My God, that is a mouthful. They really need to put that as an acronym. FARSAC. Sounds a bit wrong, actually. Better to keep it the full words. Aleph opened pre-orders for the Model A in 2022. Interested buyers have placed over 3,300 pre-orders. Buyers must place a $150 refundable deposit to join the regular queue, or a $1,500 for priority, or $1,500 for priority. The expected price per vehicle stands at roughly $300,000, and Aleph plans to begin production around the end of this year. You could someday bypass traffic by driving just a few miles, then lifting off to fly the rest. These tests could spark a shift towards mixed road and air travels in suburban or rural areas. Still, current rules limit ultralight vehicle flying to daylight and sparsely overpopulated routes. Regulations will need to update to allow broader use. Nevertheless, these tests show that the future commutes might blend highways and air corridors. Aleph is moving flying cars from imagination to reality with new airport agreements and early FAA approval. The company has a clear path to test what's possible. The rules still limit when and where these cars can fly, but progress is steady. If production stays on schedule, you may soon see the world's first flying cars taking off alongside everyday traffic. I will believe it when I see it, and I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon. I mean, for those people who are wanting like a future like the Jetsons have got, where they're all flying around in the flying cars all the time, or Star Wars or something like that, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, you just look at the cost of it, 300 grand for one. So this is going to be immediately limited to the very rich people. You know, that's more than most people's houses are worth, you know. So I don't really see that anytime soon. You've also got to take into fact, you know, that people would need to be trained up on these. They would need special kinds of licenses and stuff like that. It's not going to happen anytime soon. And I'm glad it's not going to happen anytime soon, because with how many bad drivers there are on the road, can you imagine if they are flying now as well? I mean, I get the convenience of it in a sense. If you're stuck in traffic, you just lift off and just fly the rest of the way home or whatever. But yeah, this is a long way off, I will be honest. But guys, are you more optimistic about this than me? Get your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world today, and we'll see you very soon.